Now in part one, if you remember, just from a few seconds ago, we painted all of our flight deck. This time, we're going to assemble our flight deck. Now there are a couple ways of getting your parts and pieces off the tree or the sprue. Of course, the seat that just fell off before we even got to it, which, by the way, I found my propeller. It was right where I said it would be. So we've got our propeller back. The best way, since we're doing this as cheaply as we can, is to use your knife and just pop them off like that. Okay, what that does, it gives you a nice, clean, smooth. You don't have to go back and do any more sanding on that. Now, on the other hand, you can just take and twist it. But if you can see that, there's pieces there that stay on there. Now you got to go back and you got to sand that off. Oh, Sammy's back. He's real helpful that way. Old Sammy's been kind of down in the dumps all day today. We have been kind of worried about him. He wasn't feeling good all day. So now we're going to pop these ones off. These side pieces. And this is why it's good to have something underneath you when you're cutting, so you're not cutting through Mom's good table or end table, and that's just trouble. Now we're going to take and we're going to trim this. Now, never pull a knife towards you unless you have complete control. Now, if you get the knuckle grip like this, put it in so it's in your fingers, and then you can move your knife. See how I'm moving that knife? Okay, since I'm scooping with it more than I'm pulling it, it's not going to come flying out of my hands and hurt me, because it can only go that far. And as you see, I got my thumb down out of the way, so I'm not going to cut myself. Safety is number one. Not that I don't have a few Band-Aids in my past. Let's see, we'll just trim that up a little bit. Trim that little piece right there a little bit. And then I went and put my thumb in the way, didn't I? All right, now we also saw where we're going to do some gluing. Now, what you want to look for is you want to look for your glue points and do a thing called dry fit first. We know from looking at this right here that this seat back, those two tabs go into those two slots. Now, you want to give that a try first, because you know what? It doesn't quite fit. Okay, so we're going to have to take that knife and kind of clean out that little slot just a little. Oh, yeah, I felt it right there. There's a little bit of flash right there. I just cleaned it out. So we're going to come back and we're going to make sure that that's got a nice tight fit right there. Okay, that's all the way back and in. Now, we're going to get our glue, our gel glue, and we're going to put some glue everywhere where we need to get the glue. And we're going to put the glue back on our little palette thing right here. Okay, that's in case it starts oozing out. It doesn't make a mess everywhere. Then we're going to push this piece into that piece just like that. Okay, there's our seat back. Now we're going to get tricky. We're fancy, depends on how you want to look at it. We're going to take that knife, and now we're going to use the back side of the blade, and we're going to scrape. We don't want to cut into the plastic, we just want to remove the paint. The reason being is that the glue will not hold. Actually, it's a cement. The difference between glue and cement is glue is adhesive that holds two parts together from its bond. Cement is a chemical reaction, just like the concrete out in the road. It's a chemical reaction between two different materials that hardens. Okay, now we want to check our bottoms. Like I said, where's my toothpick at? Okay, we can't do anything without a toothpick. Whew, that was close. All right, so we want to look all along here. We know we're going to glue here and here, according to this. goes into here. So, should I move that up? Okay, so we know that this bottom here, that this little hook goes to the front on both of them. And we're gonna have to glue here, along the bottom and along the bottom and the back, because this is gonna come down here. So, we'll check them quick. Oh, looks like we got a little glue along this side. Okay, that side's gonna go up against the chair. We want to get that paint off of there, or we won't get a good bond. Okay, now we're to this point. I'm looking at that and I'm saying, yep, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to take our glue. Watch here, we're going to use this palette. We're going to put some glue out there like that now. Just like that. Take this toothpick, just to make it a little less messy. Take your toothpick and put it right down and roll it right into that glue. Get some glue on that toothpick. We're going to go across here like this. You also want to get some glue on these back edges right here. Remember, check all your glue surfaces, like I just didn't do. Okay. And that piece, pops right into there, just like that. And it's supposed to lean back just a little bit. See how it leans back? Okay, now, this time I'm going to do it right. Take them, put the piece in there, goes in that slot. Okay, there it goes. It presses down in the slot. Then it leans over against the chair. See that? It leans against the chair. It's in the slot. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to take our toothpick with our glue. We're going to glue the bottom of this. I'm going to glue the bottom of it here. I'm going to glue the bottom of it there. I'm going to get some up here where the chair is going to sit. Wonderful. Oh, got glue on my fingers. You know what happens when you get glue on your fingers? You wipe them off. My camera lady thinks that's funny. There, now we got that part on. Now before we go any further, we're going to go to these two little dinky pieces. Let's see, where'd they go? They're right here. There we go. Oh, and those are dinkers. Lost it. There it is. Now I didn't cut that very clean. You can see where I've got a little piece on there that we're going to set this down and trim that off of there just a little bit. Okay, can't trim it very well. So we'll break out the old emery board or fingernail file. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay, now for these tiny little things, I guess I should have put this in first. See, that's why this glue is good. It's very forgiving. I should have done that first, but I forgot to. So let's do this first, next, here, like this. There you go. Call it first or next, whichever you want. And then this goes in here. And you know what? If you forgot all about them and you moved on, don't worry about it. It's not going to fly. It's not going to go into battle. We're learning. Okay. So, since we did take that apart, though, we should probably give that another little taste of glue. And give this side of the chair another little taste of glue. And we're going to put that back in there like that. There we go. Kind of take and push that over a little bit. Close enough. Now, we're going to get into our glue again and our glue stick. And Sammy's going to bounce us all over the place again. You can't see it, but Sammy keeps wandering back and forth. And then here comes our other kitty, Amy. She doesn't jump on tables as much. Okay, we're going to get glue in all them same places. Don't be afraid to get some down in that little slot. There we go. And take this piece, and we already checked it, remember? We already checked it for... Ah, there we go. Look at that. This is coming right along. All right. This one is a little more difficult according to the instructions. These two little pieces right here, these two little tiny tabs right here and right here, go into these two little tiny hooks, right? Oh, man, I'm shaking again. Right there and there. So that's where we want to get our glue. Oh, that's where we want to check and see, make sure everything fits first. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, see everything fits nicely in there? Okay. Check, yeah, it's clear glue, clear glue. Okay, yep, we got all kinds of room in there now. And there's glue in there. Okay, now we're going to turn this and put that right down in there where you want it to go. You want to look at it from this end and make sure that it's looks pretty much level. See, that's not, there we go. Oops, it popped out of the little hooks. There. It's in the little hooks and it's fairly level. Now, there's one piece on here, and it's this thing right here that I generally leave out. It's the gun sight. But we're going to put it in this time. Usually I leave it out because it's real hard to deal with when you put all the parts and pieces together. But since I'm doing a learning video, we're going to put that piece in. Not only that, but it really doesn't fit very well. So it's a little annoying. So if you want to leave this piece out, if you have this particular model and you want to leave this thing out, leave it out. It doesn't do anything anyway. We're going to give ourselves a little fresh glue. Okay, that's one thing about the toothpick method. When you're learning, you're going to waste a lot of glue. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, I don't know if camera lady's going to be able to get this or not. But it's got to go in there just like that. Okay. Now, it's still a little crooked. Which to me, it looks better if it's not there at all than to have it in there and be crooked. Okay. What we'll do is we'll come back on that later and we'll paint that silver and black. But for right now, we're going to set that aside and let it dry. And there we are with part 2, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. We're done with that. We're going to move on next to our part 3, which is going to be the fuselage and wing assembly. So thanks for watching part 2. Stand by for part 3.